My argument is that urban inequality is the big challenge. It's a very neglected issue in development policy at the international, national and local levels, and it needs more attention. We know, all of us, that now the majority of the world's population lives in urban areas, that the total urban population is going to double between now and 2050, and that most of those additional people are going to live in urban areas in low and middle income countries. But I would argue that this fails to recognise the extreme inequality that often characterises urban centres. Wealth is indeed concentrated in cities, and that helps to explain why average incomes in urban areas exceed those in rural areas. But inequality within urban areas is often extreme. So what are the obstacles? I'd suggest that they're primarily political and bureaucratic rather than technical. There's a reluctance on the part of national politicians and bureaucrats to establish local governance arrangements with responsibilities and resources to match. And so there is an inability to attract good politicians of good quality into local government. And that's exacerbated by the tendency for city governments to be under the control of opposition parties. There are vested political and bureaucratic interests who are interested in protecting their own position by both legitimate and illegitimate means. And there's an institutional culture marked, particularly at the local level, by inertia and chronic under-resourcing, lack of incentives to reform. So I was asked to suggest one thing that should be done to tackle this. And my one thing is that for a local politician or politicians to recognise that his or her or their political credibility would be enhanced by tackling a problem that not only affects poor urban residents but also large numbers of middle-income residents, and to which a noticeable difference can be made within a single political term. And my example of a policy that might fit that bill is sorting out water supply to improve reliability, increase reach into unserved areas, and ensure quality at reasonable costs with safeguards for the poorest, adopting pragmatic arrangements to suit the local context rather than an ideologically driven solution such as privatisation or renationalisation.